The madness is in full swing here in 2025. Welcome to the round of 32 and Sweet 16 here in Marble Madness. Familiar track from last season. In fact, it's just about the exact same, maybe some slight alterations here and there, but that track produced a ton of close races and a ton of upsets based on these two jumping points where you really test the fidelity of what these marbles can do. You're going to see a little demo run here as we review a couple of the notable facts and figures from the bracket. Last time out, 2 16 seeds in Silhouette and Chargers take down the 1 seeds of Forest and Werewolf, and then 3 15 seeds. That's going to be Vortex, Supernova, and Grayscale all advancing. This upper left part of the bracket, the only one where the 15 seed did not win, and that will be Blitz. But we're ready to get it going here with Sea Turtle and Demon's Eye. It is Sea Turtle who gets the jump, trying to get his title defense fully up and running here. Demon's Eye is making a run back at him, though. Contact made one time. Demon's Eye riding right on his shoulder and gets around him through the jump. Sea Turtle in trouble. Pinch made, but he couldn't get around, and Demon's Eye takes down the 1 seed. There is just one remaining, and that's Banana Split. We'll see if any 1 seeds make it to the Sweet 16. They are dropping like flies this year. Next up, Party and Peacock, and Party gets the jump here as the higher seed. Peacock going to keep it close, but starting to slow down, maybe a foot of separation between them. Now Peacock, contact made, he loses all his momentum. Party got an extra speed boost out into the front. Peacock still not giving up on this one, and then they come across the line. Party hangs on. A lot of attempts from Peacock, nothing really stuck. Seemed like the timing was just off on about each of them. Would have liked maybe a half second longer to wait before trying this move right there at the end. Circus and Monarch, next one up. And it's going to be Circus who gets the jump on Monarch, the 3 seed, pulling off into the distance. Quite a big lead for Circus. Monarch hardly in the picture, but Circus crashes out, and Monarch given an extra life by virtue of that. Circus with a tough error. It's going to cost him his tournament, and it's going to give Monarch an extra lease on life that he'll take into the Sweet 16. Not even really sure what happened there in that red funnel, just never got it straightened out. It'll be Blitz and Bumblebee, our last match in the upper left part of the bracket, and Bumblebee took a quicker line, got the jump on Blitz. Could we see the last 2 seed fall early in this one? Blitz crashes out. That's exactly what's going to happen. As long as Bumblebee can finish this race, which it looks like he will, all of the 2 seeds are wiped out before we get to the Sweet 16, an extinction event in Marble Madness. A little panoramic of the track right there. You can really see the elevation changes that these marbles go down from that view. And it is a 5 seed, an 8, an 11, and a 10. So the 5 seed, once again, the highest remaining in the upper left. Moving on to the lower left part of the bracket, where the 5 seed through 1 round is the highest remaining. Forget just 2. It is Electric Eel. We'll see him after this race between Flame and Silhouette. And Flame gets the jump. Silhouette won his first career Marble Madness race last time out, but it's Flame with a pretty big lead, and it's only going to grow at this point as long as he keeps it clean, makes the jump stick, and Silhouette hardly in the picture as Flame comes across the line with about a 3-second margin of victory. Good start for Flame, who took down Rocky Mountain in the first round and now takes down Silhouette. So nothing super tough in terms of seed matchups for Flame yet, but as the tournament goes on, you'd expect that might change. Electric Eel and Ocean Breeze here, and it is Electric Eel building up a lead. Ocean Breeze out of the shot right now and crashes out in the back. Electric Eel's got a free ride into the Sweet 16, which he is going to make happen right there. Good for Electric Eel, a guy who's been super successful in Marble Summer Championships, but really hasn't been able to put it all together in Marble Madnesses yet. I think he has a lone Elite 8 maybe a couple of seasons ago, but other than that, it's kind of been aboard the struggle bus overall for him. Cherry and Goldfish, next one up, and it's Cherry who's got a solid lead, but Goldfish starting to mount a bit of a charge. Now he's getting right up onto his back. Contact made once around the jump, still hounding him, but Cherry is going to just barely hang on, and maybe if the track was a couple pieces longer, Goldfish might have had a lane there, but Cherry does just enough, defends each move, and they just took way too similar of lines for much difference to happen. You did see Goldfish start to make a run there at the end, but never really materialized for him. 10 seed Vampire, 15 seed Vortex, add up to 25. As here we go, Vampire's got a slight lead, but Vortex bringing it back right up on his backside. Contact's made a couple of times. Vortex trying to get through, but runs out of road and can't get it done. Vampire into the Sweet 16. Seems like a marble that kind of excels when his seed is lower. The lower the better for Vampire. And a 10 seed right there takes down Vortex. And so, a 5 seed is the highest remaining seed in the upper left, and a 5 seed is the highest remaining seed in the lower left part of the bracket. As we enter the upper right with the lone remaining 1 seed in Banana Split. A lot of pressure on him here after all the 2 seeds are also gone at this point. So we really got to keep it going. There's 1 3 seed remaining as well, and that is Slenderman, who will also feature later in this part of the bracket. Banana Split's got the lead on Cyclone as he comes down, but Cyclone's keeping it in the picture, about 1.5 foot of difference between them. But that is starting to come down, and now it stabilizes. Banana Split's got the lead. Cyclone looks like he is not going to have any play, and Banana Split keeps the 1 seeds alive and makes it into the Sweet 16 after a Final Four, after a championship appearance last season. Now, 2 blue marbles going at it, Skyline and Google Earth, and it's Skyline who's got the lead, throwing up a pretty sizable margin out of the marble tower. Couple of feet, and Google Earth in the back of the shot. Skyline stretching it, keeps it clean over the jump. Google Earth in a different zip code right now, and Skyline keeps it clean and moves on. He will face Banana Split, some marbles who've had some battles before in the 2023 Marble Summer Championship and the Champions Tour of last summer. Slenderman, the lone remaining 3 seed at this point in the tournament. I'm telling you, they've been dropping like flies so far, and Minty is going to be trying to hound him here. The gap down to about 8 inches. Now it's starting to grow again. Slenderman keeps it clean. Minty has no moves at this point, and Slenderman is through. So 1 seed is left and 1 3 seed is left, and they occupy the same quadrant of the bracket. So at some point, one of them is going to have to beat the other one. And now it's Prairie Grass and Grayscale, and Prairie Grass has a lot of trouble in the top of the marble tower against a 15 seed who took down one of the fastest marbles in Tree Frog in the entire competition. But here's a lot of speed from Prairie Grass, who gets around him on the orange track. Prairie Grass takes the road less traveled and takes down Grayscale, come from behind, redeems himself for struggling in the marble tower earlier. And look at that move, just waited for the lane to open up and shot it right down Broadway and cleans up with a nice finish right there. 3/4 of the round of 32 down. As you can see right there, this is the only part of the bracket that really looks normal at this point in the competition, with a 1, a 4, a 3, and then a 7 in there. This part of the bracket is all kinds of weird, with the 16 and the 8 we're going to see in this first match, then a 5, 4, and a 6, and then 3 straight upsets with a 14, a 10, and a 15 in this lower part of the right bracket. It will be Pineapple and Chargers in this first round, and it is going to be Chargers who actually jumps Pineapple right there. More speed from the 16 seed who's pulling out into the distance. Pineapple trying to bring this one back, but starting to run out of room. Chargers keeping it clean, and this time it's a whole lot easier than passing Forest. Pineapple was never really in this race, and Chargers is through to the Sweet 16 as a 16 seed. Doing what Silhouette could not manage to do, keeping the 16 seeds in it as well. Scorpion and the Wasps in this one, 2 marbles with a lot of history together. They entered tournaments in 2019 together, and right now the Wasps make some contact with Scorpion, losing all kinds of momentum. Scorpion off into the distance. Wasps never had any other momentum after that, and Scorpion keeping it rolling into the Sweet 16, where he's going to match up with Chargers, and you'd think he could get an easy path to the Elite 8, but you never know with how well this 16 seed has been racing so far. Ghosts and Fireball, second to last match in the round of 32, and it is the Ghosts who get the jump as the higher seed, keeping it clean throughout the marble tower and stretching it into the distance. Fireball not even in the shot. Now here he comes, starting to get back into it, but it stabilizes with the Ghosts, and Fireball bounds over the wall. First time I think we've seen that happen today. It was really common with the blocks in the round of 64, but not so much today. Just springboards off the wall, and when you're that far behind, gotta make some magic happen, and couldn't do it. Tidal Wave and Supernova, last matchup of the round of 32, and it is Tidal Wave holding the lead as the higher seed. Supernova about a foot or 2 behind, starting to bring that gap down. Here's going to be a chance. Contact's made. Tidal Wave fends him off for now. Supernova, one more chance, going all the way to the line, but runs out of speed in the final stretch. Did not make it easy for Tidal Wave, but Tidal Wave gets through all the same into the Sweet 16. And this bracket, another one that just looks really funky with the seeding. You're going to be seeing a 16 and a 5, and then a 6 and a 10 in the Sweet 16 for this lower left. As you see the Marble's Eye point of view, just how rapid that track can be. That's what the bracket looks like at this point. another one, the third part of our brackets where the 5 seed is the highest remaining seed. So a whole lot of chaos throughout the Marble Madness brackets today as we get ready for the Sweet 16. And that will open with the 5 seed Party and the 8 seed Demon's Eye. Here we go, and it's Party who's got the jump, but Demon's Eye is riding right on him here and actually jumps him. That's a pass in the Marble Tower. We never see that happen, but it has right here. Now Party's got some work to do, but he's right in this race. Contact made on the wall, and Demon's Eye stretches it into the Elite 8. A new record for Demon's Eye in terms of how far he's gone in the tournament. He just jumped over Party as they came out of the last bit of the Marble Tower right there. Have not seen that all day, and not at all last year either. As now it is a 10 and 11, so Demon's Eye will be the highest seed in the Elite 8 from this upper part of the bracket here. But it's Monarch with a head of steam trying to make a move on Bumblebee, who fends him off once. But Monarch's not giving up, and the bug battle goes the way of Monarch. Upset right there. 10 on 11. Into the Elite 8 goes Monarch. That's a move we saw Chargers pull off on Forest in the round of 64. And in a similar portion of the track, Monarch makes it happen in the Sweet 16, earning his stripes right there. He'll face the 8 seed of Demon's Eye for a spot in the Final Four. Crazy seeding going on in the upper left part of the bracket. As we get a little bit more normal with this one, the 5 seed Electric Eel, once again the highest remaining seed in the lower left part of the bracket. And he's got the lead on Flame for now, but this one quite close once again. Flame's got a head of steam, but it crashes out. Oh, he had some momentum there, and it really could have gotten interesting down the line, but this now makes 2 out of 3 races Electric Eel has run where his opponent has crashed. Pretty sure he had the lead in both of them, so it was really more of a desperation type crash than throwing away a lead, but still, good fortunes for Electric Eel as he punches his ticket into the Elite 8, as we got a battle of 2 red teams, Cherry and Vampire, and Cherry's got quite the lead, but Vampire trying to bring it back. Now the lead stabilizes for Cherry. Vampire just too far back in this one, and Cherry will join Electric Eel to Marble Summer Championship marbles, make it into the Elite 8 in the lower left. And just a couple of races to go and get to the most normal looking part of the bracket with the 1 seed Banana Split taking on the 4 seed of Skyline, and you're going to have the 3 seed of Slenderman taking on the 7 seed of Prairie Grass. First one up is the aforementioned Banana Split match, the last remaining 1 seed in competition, and a close match with Skyline, who almost got around him in the tower, and they're going to keep it fairly close between them as they move on here. Skyline, runs into the back of Banana Split and runs out of road. Banana Split moves on to the Elite 8, the 1 seed, keeping it going for all of his fallen brethren at this point, as Banana Split punches his ticket through to Skyline's road, ends right there. That's the last 4 seed to drop out of the tournament. The final remaining 3 is Slenderman right here, and Prairie Grass once again having trouble in the tower. Really not his forte at this point. Slenderman's got a sizable lead built up as a result of it. Prairie Grass made his money on this orange track section, but can't bring the gap down right here. Still not giving up on it, but on the final straight, it is Slenderman across the line with the lead and the finish. So, Banana Split and Slenderman, 1 versus 3 will be the Elite 8 matchup. Those two have some history. They matched up last season, and Banana Split was victorious in that one, so that'll be a highly anticipated match in the Elite 8, as we've got just 2 races to go on the day, and it is Scorpion and Chargers, a really interesting one. Can this Cinderella continue? Right now, he's going to have some work to do, but in the Marble Tower, keeping it fairly close with Scorpion. About a foot of separation between them now. Chargers getting some momentum, trying to make a run right on the back of Scorpion as they come around the jump. It's going to be critical if he can get around, but he can't, and Scorpion keeps it clean the entire time, and the final 16 has fallen. But it was not without a real effort, and he made Scorpion work for every inch of that track. Quite the run from Chargers, but it ends right there. Scorpion, a 5 seed through to the Elite 8. And our last match of the day, the Ghost versus Tidal Wave, defending champion in the Ghost. Tidal Wave trying to keep it going. He's got some room to make up here, but look at the speed. Oh, and he gets around the Ghost with some contact as well. Now as they come down to the line, pinch made by the Ghost, can't get around him. Tidal Wave punches the final ticket into the Elite 8. There will be no repeat champion for the Ghosts. As Tidal Wave, look at the speed difference right there off the ramp. And even though he ran into the back of the Ghost, he still just clawed his way around him and moves on to the next round of the tournament. 8 marbles left standing. It is Demon's Eye, Monarch, Electric Eel, Cherry, Banana Split, Slenderman, Scorpion, and Tidal Wave. You'll all see them next week for the Elite 8, the Final 4, and the Championship. An incredible bracket that is really shook out so far. The 2 highest seeds remaining in the 1 seed Banana Split and the 3 of Slenderman will match up with each other in the Elite 8, so only one of those can make it to the Final 4. Besides that, you got 2 5s, a 6, an 8, a 10, and an 11. So a couple of Cinderella stories still in line, but that's all we got today. We will see you next week for the conclusion of our tournament. Until then, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and take care.